Originally, I planned this video on the idea that I could imagine you all saying to me, I know you told us to meal plan, Em, but I don't know any recipes or what I like to eat. And if this is you, it used to be us too. However, when I sat with this, the pull of my autism needing certainty and my ADHD wanting novelty was underneath that, and I realised that this is what we need to solve. So stay tuned if you have this problem too. Welcome to AuDHDID, a channel dedicated to autism, ADHD and dissociative identity disorder. In last week's video, we looked at meal planning, which gave an overview of all of the components needed to plan a week or more of meals. But that's a lot of thinking to do all at once. I've done a short about doing experiments to notice what foods you like and don't like. This is how we worked out what things we wanted to eat. Actually, at first, it was mostly what we didn't like, and we ranked them from completely gross and never putting that in my mouth again to passable. And the passable ones went on the list for trying out in recipes. If you've never had the opportunity to notice what you like to eat, this stage can take a while, and there's no rush to get through it. It will be hard at first because trying any new food comes with a lack of certainty, but trying them on their own can be a low effort way of getting a little bit of clarity without cooking a whole meal just to find you hate it. If you're stuck for recipes for your meal plan or you aren't feeling confident about cooking, can you just try one new recipe? Even just having one regular meal that everybody in your system likes can help for those days when you're overwhelmed. And when you notice others like something, make a note of it and just build it up over time. You don't even have to make it from scratch. Our favourite pain day meal is instant noodles with cashew nuts and sweet corn, or instant couscous with a can of chickpeas. That totally counts as a recipe. The number one goal of planning is to make sure that you're getting fed in the simplest, least stressful way possible. And once you've gained capacity, you can iterate onto healthier goals or whatever you want to do later. So to summarise up to this point, our DID parts will be happier because we're including them in the experiments. They can feel our intentions to give them regular food. Autism will hopefully be calmer because we're testing new things slowly, considering textures and increasing the sense of predictability. But then ADHD shows up and is like, nah, I don't feel like anything I've planned. So how do you get yourself to actually eat it? This one's really tricky. Essentially, there is some demand avoidance going on and possibly some dopamine seeking. Or maybe the meals that you've picked are boring and ice cream and chocolate for breakfast feels much more exciting to my 4-year-old self. We can't really change that. We can parent ourselves, sure, but that pull might always be there. So this is how we handle it for our system. So number one, the attraction for chocolate or high-calorie foods is usually fueled by going too long between meals, or that the meals I've prepared are not satiating enough. So I set up the chocolate as a reward for eating the meal. I dish up dinner and then portion out the chocolate. A line of squares if it's a big bar, or a fun-sized bar could work too. This helps them differentiate between treat foods from everyday foods, and it helps my blood sugar to eat the chocolate with a meal, as I eat whole grain and veggies, so the fibre and complex carbs will regulate some of that sugar as I naturally process it. Number two is I don't assign meals to a specific day. This means that we have lots of options to move things around until the end of the week. It's easier to eat what's left when that's all you've got left. But then, even if nothing on the plan feels good to me at that time, if I haven't prepared my food yet, is there any harm in making another meal? Probably not. The meal plan isn't there to be rigid. It's there to help narrow down choices and executive functioning brain tax. But if you know what you want, then there's no tax in choosing because you just know. And it's pretty important to be able to say yes to yourself sometimes. And number three is if I've already have something made that needs to be eaten, I can usually convince myself to finish it up before it goes bad by just reminding myself that it's actually the easiest option because it's already ready. And then my reward is 5 minutes in the microwave, so I get to go back to doing whatever way more interesting thing that I was into before I had to think about food. And if that totally doesn't work, number four is, can I freeze it or can it last in the fridge another day? And if it can, and I have the energy to make myself something else, I just let myself do that. If I can't save it, then I'll use my willpower and say, okay, come on, just eat it this time. But I plan what I fancy for my next meal, so I'm not saying no forever, just making myself wait a little bit. Willpower is a really expensive resource, so we want to save it for when we absolutely need it. Leaning on it too heavily can lead to perfectionism and burnout. And then number 5, lastly, one more idea is to plan a treat meal once a week. For us, this is Nando's. Sometimes we order it, sometimes we make a tofu version at home. But having a meal that everybody can get excited about really helps parts feel included and safe around food. But at the end of the day, if I forget about food or I really can't make myself eat something, that's okay. Worrying about food waste or ethical issues are things to consider when we have capacity. If you're so stressed by food that you avoid it or live off snacks, then the focus needs to be on the consistency. In the next videos, we're going to be talking about helpful cooking tools and how not to get bored cooking as we move on to the prepping stage of cooking what's in our plan. So if that interests you, please subscribe so you get notified when those videos come out. And if you have any other difficulties or questions about the planning stage, please leave me a comment below and we will do what we can to help. And hopefully everybody can also help support each other as we build this community. Until next time, take care of yourselves.